Here's a clip from Tarabuster with Tara Devlin.
I just tried to warn them in 2016. That's what I did. I remember saying to a friend of mine, she was like, "Oh, Hillary, okay, great, wonderful." And I tried to do my part at the time. I had people on my show at the time that were pro-Hillary. I talked about Hillary. Of course, I voted for Hillary. And if it comes down to it, I will vote for Joe Biden. But I live in New York, so it's not going to matter. And yeah, everything's on the ballot. These are the high stakes. But you see what they did to us again? You think the Democratic Party insiders, as if 2016 didn't happen. They're showing us that they don't give a shit. Because either way, they win. You know what I mean? If Twitler gets re-elected despite receiving fewer votes, they can fundraise off it. They'll still have their cushy jobs. They'll still have their media. They'll still be booked on Morning Joe. It'll be better for MSNBC, actually. Because they'll be running ads. All these people will be running ads on MSNBC. Of course, they're going to be. They're already benefiting. They benefited from having Twitler from 2016, and so it will continue for them. Then they'll go into the outrage, the outrage du jour about whatever outrage he's doing, but they won't really. They're not really reporting the extent of the damage that's being done. You don't see these stories. You don't see the story about the woman's face, getting her face ripped off by a bear. You know what I mean? They're not saying that on the corporate media. We're hearing Willie Geist lament again and again how everybody doesn't want to lose their private health insurance. And this is actually how I got on this topic, because because I was saying the two things I hate the most, besides everything Republican and half of and all the DLC Democrats. I can't stand the DLCers. Oh my God. Third way, whatever the hell they call it. It's a ruse. It's a racket. Another racket. But so the things that I hate are the whole get up, we can do anything. And the other thing is we're so divided. Oh, we're so divided in this country. And when Pete Buttigieg says things like, could you imagine having the election be between a divisive Trump and someone who wants to burn down the Democratic Party, the divisiveness of the burn down the Democratic Party. How is it divisive to say we're in this together? Will you fight for your neighbor? Will you fight for your undocumented neighbor even though you are native born? What's divisive about that, Pete Buttigieg? Will you fight for your fellow citizen who has no health care even if you have health care? That's what it's about. There's nothing divisive about it, but they're the ones who are divisive. They're the ones. The wine cave. The faux patriots in the wine cave. The ones who are clinging and propping up this broken system that has killed and bankrupted Americans for generations, where Americans are working and not able to retire, where we're the ones sacrificing our lives in this broken system that they prop up, that Pete Buttigieg there's nothing more cynical than somebody like him, because he knows he's not stupid. He's playing the long game for himself. He knows he's sidling up to power, there's nothing more cowardly than that. Instead of standing for something, he's sidling up to the interests that have this democracy by the neck, and they're choking the life out of it. Of course it's an oligarchy. Of course it is. When you have billionaires literally buying their way into an election, and these fake Democrats who if FDR was alive, he'd smack him with his crutch. They have the nerve to get up there and talk about Bernie Sanders is dividing us. Bernie Sanders is the only candidate who's talking about leaving no one behind, that this is a country that we don't leave our fellow citizen, our fellow American on the battlefield, whether that be on the battlefield without health care, on the battlefield in ignorance, without a living wage, without opportunity, without a middle-class life. These fake Democrats, they should be ashamed. There's nothing democratic about them. We're the Democrats. They keep saying, I'm a Democrat. I'm a Democrat. I'm a real Democrat. Well, what the hell does that mean? That means you're what? What are you for? A little less? It's like what Nancy Pelosi said. We want to reduce the role of dark money in politics. Reduce it. That's what they're for. Reduce it because it looks unseemly. Not that it's corrosive and destroying us. They don't give a shit. Not that they should be pulling a hair about worrying who's cutting their insulin in half. Oh, it's a good campaign talking point. But, the best they can do is access to affordable health care. What is affordable when you can't handle a $400 emergency? When you have half of the country that can't handle a $400 effing emergency, what is affordable? And then don't tell me about dividing. Oh, we're so divided in this country, in this divided time. How are we going to, whatever they say, whatever comes next, the bull line, because they're the ones dividing us, and they like to keep it that way. Dividing us. They're the divisive ones. Because if they weren't trying to divide us, they would say, we don't leave people behind here. That's how FDR set up Social Security, to belong to all of us. It's an American program, whether you are rich or poor, black, white, Native American, native born. If you are an American, you belong. You pay into the system, and it belongs to all of us, and that's why they can't touch it. And it's the same thing with this effing Medicare for all and universal education and living wage, all these things. It has to be presented as a patriotic imperative. Other than that, they're the ones dividing us. There's nothing more divisive than Willie Geist going on about how, well, if you have Medicare for all, you're going to have unions who have negotiated health care, and they won't have access to their health care plan. As if the people who have, it's basically the line that he's peddling is, I got mine. Oh well, sucks to be you. Don't get bitten and eaten by a bear. I got mine. I negotiated for mine. You can go eat Advil. You can go drop dead. Who cares? That's the America that they advocate for in one breath while lamenting how divided we are in the next. Well, they keep us divided.
Tarabuster is recorded live every Saturday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern at the RDT Daily Facebook and YouTube channels, and rebroadcast on Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on Progressive Voices, or anytime on demand on the Progressive Voices app.